Hello, this is Prasad Pasmarthi from Innored Solutions. Today we are going to show you the functionality and features in our InnoCare product. Simply put, InnoCare is a secure digital health register of any person, either managed by themselves or through care coordinators. Our product has been customized to make it more useful to users with special needs like autism or Down syndrome and things like that, but is equally resourceful for regular individuals to log their health diary. Okay. The core idea behind InnoCare is to create a platform for all the care coordinators like teachers, therapists, doctors, parents, etc. As you see on the screen here, to collaborate with each other for the overall success of the user's therapy or treatment. This product can be used by individuals as well as institutes. As you can see in the next slide, we are going to use some demo users for our session today. User 1 and user 2 are your users or patients, as you want to interchangeably call them as, but they are linked to their respective parents. And here you have a special education teacher or a school, a therapist. It could be speech therapist, language therapist, occupational therapist. It could be any therapist, physiotherapist too, and doctors like psychiatrists, psychologists, physicists, anybody here under doctor. So all these roles are in formed in such a way that a single user or a patient can be linked to multiple care providers. At the same time, a care provider can take care of multiple patients or users. So it's almost like a more like a many to many relationship. The product is also designed in such a way that these care coordinators, like special education teacher or therapist or a doctor, will be able to access the user's health records if and only if the user explicitly provides authorization. So there is an authorization process which is part of the administration, which will not be shown here, but you can understand how the system goes. It's all authorization based. Now that we understood how the roles are, let us quickly jump into the application and see the different features it has to offer. So this is how the initial login screen would look like for InnoCare. I'm logging in as a user called InnoCare user one, sorry, Inno user one. Entering password here, press enter. One thing to note here when you're giving this password is even when the admin creates my user ID, when I log in for the first time, I will be restricted to get in here until and unless I change the password. So even admin will not be able to know what my new password is. That's how secure the system has been made. Nobody can get access to it unless I provide them the access. Okay, now when a user logs in like this, they will have a dashboard that shows all the statistics here, but the one on the left is what we will be focusing on in today's demo. The dashboard contains multiple sections like care notebook, health record, track health, and personal information. So we'll go through care notebook first. It basically lists down all the data collection fields and screens useful for special needs. So it starts off with a case history. Let me just quickly click on the case history screen here. So the case history screen allows you to enter family details. My family, something like this free text field for family details, prenatal details, birth details, postnatal, milestones, previous trainings, present problems, health issues, allergies and reactions. As you can see, this is a very comprehensive list of information that is gathered about the user initially when a care coordinator or an institute admits them. So it also deals with communication levels, mobility, self-management, what are they able to do on their own and what is their general behavior, what are the parents' expectations and vision. So this is all something that a care coordinator will log information on as part of the admission, and then finally clicks on save here. Okay, that is your case history log, which is a very comprehensive information gathering screen. The next one here we have is the care providers or the contact details for any user or a patient. This screen helps in creating the emergency contact information of father, mother, spouse, guardian. It could be a caregiver, it could be training instructor. This list can be configured based on the usage, but as you can get that idea, it takes the name, address, and daytime phone number, evening phone number, WhatsApp number, email address, and also add more details. It also includes a section here which says whether this person that we are adding here should be considered as the primary emergency contact information. So for a person, like for a user, if I have entered 5 or 6 records under different relationships, I can select one of those 5, 6 people as the primary emergency contact. So in case of an emergency, this person will be contacted first. Moving on to the next section, this is goal-oriented training. This section has many features here. Under goal-oriented training, as you can see on the left here, it has therapeutical, individual education, open basic education. So this is all training material that comes under this, under different sections. So what is the therapeutical needs? So what are the physical therapy needs that they need, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, and what are the additional information that you want to enter here? You can enter this for a particular date, as you can see here as July 17th, and then click and add another log also for different date if the needs have changed, because we hope the needs come down. So that is how the data can be entered. Similarly, individual education, there are multiple sections under individual education, like who is the provider, what is the instruction, area of instruction, current skills, what are the goals. So it's all again a huge list. It's more like a template. You can use or not use this. Within the field, you can type your own text. For example, I can just select everything and delete and type my own text like this and save individual education log entry. So we can do every field that you're seeing here with a predefined text in it. This is all something that you can change. Online open basic education, what are the levels and subjects? Similarly, online education, as you go through each of these, it's all very self-explanatory as to what is the data that we want to enter here. If somebody is in homeschooling, then what is the different information that you want to collect as part of their homeschooling activity. Similarly, NIOS secondary and senior secondary, these are all part of your training that comes into picture. There's also pre-vocational and vocational sections, which both have similar kind of data entry, but you have skills like, paper plates making or data entry, food processing, tailoring. So you can select one of these skills and basically mention what is the level of performance. So I might be actually in a very good, as a user, I might be very good at paper plates making. So I can just say proficient here under paper plates making, and add another one where I say, let's say food processing. I can say beginner. Not necessary that you have to use the same thing, but I'm just using it to show how you can use these fields under different sections. So similarly for vocational also you will have the same thing. So one important section that we have is the parental involvement, especially in a setup like an institute where parents or guardians keep coming to visit the child or the user or patient. They can track information here as to when they have come, what they have done in terms of voluntary activity, or what is their engagement level and all that. As a parent, even if you have subscribed to this product as an individual, you can also come in here and basically write your own notes that can be shared with your care coordinator, like a therapist or somebody, saying this is my involvement level, and we can discuss as a parent and a therapist. You both can discuss what more can be done in terms of your involvement levels. Coming to the next one, which is uh, uh, the life skills section. Life skills also talk about what is the level of independence for my different life skills. Again, areas here are self-help, academics, general knowledge. All these data again is predefined. You can social skills. What is the level of independence for my social skills? I might be poor at social skills. I'll make a note of it as on this date, and maybe a month later my data changes. My level of independence in social skills or self-help might change. So I come back here and change it for that particular date, add another entry. So it gives me a log of where I was and where I am today. and where I want to go next. So over a period of time, again, I'm not raising the expectations here, saying using this suddenly all the goals will be met quickly. We all know that special needs is a long process for us to work on different skills and goals. So that remains the same. This is more like a digital record. So internal employment, the next section is something that deals with when people are admitted in some kind of homes where they make paper plates or something like that. Sheltered or home-based or inclusive, these are the different employment types that we have, and we can talk about what is the employment unit where they have been employed, where is the place, and what are the pay details and bank account details and things like that. This is primarily important for institutes that are engaging their residents, I would say, instead of patients, I would say residents, in paper plate making or some kind of vocational activity, and in turn giving them some kind of an employment. So that is your internal employment. Medical information section covers a couple of different options here. One is your emergency contact details. So whatever information we earlier provided in this care provider section, like father, mother's name, emergency contact name, what is the relationship and all these read-only fields that you're seeing here, it will be populated from that screen. What you can enter here in this medical information is your ambulance, fire department, all those emergency contact details, including the primary hospital that the user is generally taken to. So this will give us a very quick view of what are the different emergency details that we need to have for a particular user. The next section under medical information is the consultant doctor details. So you can add as many consultant doctors as you want or as you really be meeting. So as a user or a patient, I might be consulting different doctors for different needs. So I will provide one record for each doctor, including the phone number, email address, and additional comments and all that. So that parents, when they enter this, or even a care provider, when they enter this, it's a collaborative effort where the data is collectively managed, and hence a overall picture of the user's digital health record is done. Moving to special diet information, this section talks about the food likes and dislikes, what is the feeding schedule, and additional comments that you want to add. So especially if somebody doesn't like a particular kind of a food, better to add it here so that even if a caregiver changes over a period of time, the new caregiver can just come in here and see what the schedule is, what are the likes and dislikes are. Similarly, there is another section called allergies that we will see. I think we have covered that in history, case history. So when a care provider changes, there's a lot of things that comes into the play. So this tool will help them for the continuity of the same kind of service, in my view. The next section that we are moving on to is the daily care logs. As the name suggests, this is the log that has to be entered on a day-to-day basis for tracking and maintaining the different sections that are here, like sleep patterns, for example. So for each day, a parent or a caregiver would be entering the sleep pattern of the user here as to the date, the time when the user slept, and for how long they have slept, and if it was a disturbed sleep or they had nightmares or something. There is a section here, nightmares around 2 a.m., something like this. So you can basically type let's say I take yesterday's date, and I'll say I slept at 9 o'clock, so like this, for let's say 6 hours, let's say 6 hours. So I can enter something like this for sleep log. The importance of sleep log is when a patient or a user has a seizure episode, there is a dependency, or there is a level of connection between sleep patterns and those epileptic seizures. So it is important that we track this information here and use it to identify what might have happened the previous night, whether the sleep was okay or not okay, and all that information will be handy that time. The next one is self-help. Again, small goals make big picture, I would say. So just add few things here for the child or the patient, for you to track about their toileting, brushing, bathing, dressing, and all those kind of daily care activities on each day. If you want to observe how the toileting has been, was the user able to take care of that on his or her own way, or did they need additional help, and over a period of time is this changing? So it will help in that way. Similarly, exercise for each day, it is very important that they participate in some kind of physical activity, either indoor or outdoor. So it helps in writing down or making a log of whether the user has come for a morning walk or did yoga, whatever may be interesting to them. We write here either as a care coordinator or as a doctor. Similarly, diet, if you want to maintain a log of what the user or a child or the patient had for that day from morning to night, I just gave some template here with some values in it, but you don't have to use it. As I said earlier, just click control everything, delete it, and type your own diet as to what the user has eaten for breakfast, lunch, dinner. So you can type as you want. So breakfast, this, let's say uh, bread and jam, coffee. So something like this. So it's up to you how you want to enter and then save. Similarly, work and learning. If somebody is at home and they are in home-based learning or things like that, you can also come in here, type in what they have done, either greeting card making or jute bag making, whatever you want to enter something here, you can enter. Otherwise, if nothing of this makes relevance to what the user undergoes, you don't have to come in here at all. Another important one is entertainment. Like during the course of the day, is the user or the patient um, happy to watch a movie or enjoyed dancing, listening to music, participated in drama? Again, this is just another template. You can just remove it and add your own entries here. For each day, you can mention how they entertained, kept themselves entertained. That is one of the important sections here. Coming to visit, this is a section that is primarily be useful for institutions where these patients are. When somebody visits them, like a parent or a guardian or even a physiotherapist or occupational therapist comes in, I can provide details of who the visitor was, when they visited, and the different notes as to how long they have been here, what is the outcome of that session, and things like that. Okay, so this will help us have a digital registry of the different visitors who have come and visited the user or a patient here in this case. Next, most important again is the health issues of the day section, which has two subsections. One is on the seizures. You will basically be selecting the seizure type. The different types of seizures are given here, and the date observed is defaulted to the current date. Time observed AM PM, you have to provide time and the duration of the episode, and add more notes on how the behavior previous day was, or did they skip medication and things like that, and add as many log entries as you want. Again, this is a multiple records that you can add for a particular date also, depending on the frequency of the episode. So you can add this under seizures. And every other emergency apart from seizures, you can come here and add under the emergencies tab, just a pure plain text field for a particular date. You just go in here and add had fever or whatever may be the situation, you just add more details here. Okay, coming to the next section, which is behavior. This section primarily talks about how the behavior, different behaviors have been for the user or the patient on a particular date. Again, bit date based. So you come in here for this date. The different sections we are capturing here is meltdown, aggression, agitation, as you can see here, and self-injury. And beyond this, if you want to add more notes, you can add here. So for each of these entries, what we are writing here is what were the anticipatory signs before this incident happened, before this meltdown happened, what triggered it, what was the behavior of the person during this episode, how long was this episode going on, and what were the strategies used to calm this person down, and out of these strategies that you used, which ones worked. So tomorrow, when even if a care provider changes, they can come in here and see what worked last week, so that they can come in here and do something similar if it works. So for all of these, same thing. That is your behavior section, very important in my view again. So what you have seen here is more for special needs, and the health record is something that you can use for anybody here, special needs or otherwise. So it has four different sections. One is on medication, which talks about the different types of medicines I have been taking, or I just took and discontinued, or the ones that I am currently taking. So that's your medication section. The other one is your vital section, that talks about your regular vitals, like BP, sugar, heart rate, temperature, and all such things. As you can see on the left, these are the different vitals that we collect: blood pressure, pulse, temperature, peak flow, body height, weight, automatically calculating the BMI and glucose. Similarly, when you go to medications, it will ask you for entering the different medicines that we are taking. If you click on add record, let me just quickly show you how you add a medical record. So let's say I take Dolo 650 for my headache. So it asks for status, whether I'm taking it actively now, or it was something that I took earlier but not now. So again, something for continuity of care, very, very important in terms of what are the medicines that we are taking. So for the active ones, I'll just give a start date. I will not give an end date. Category is whether it is prescription based medicine that I'm taking, or if it is an over the counter or herbal or supplement or other. So Dolo of course is over the counter. So I can just say dose is 1, frequency is daily, taking for the past 3 days for headache, something like this. Just any number of medicines that you are writing here, it gets saved and attached to the user's record like this. So as you can see, Dolo 650 is here. If you click on show all details here, it will show everything, including the comments on when the all the other reasons and everything, that all the different fields that we have probably not used as part of the demo. The next section here is appointments and visits. This is useful for you to plan your doctor appointments, whether it is a physiotherapist or a speech therapist that you have to take your child to, or a doctor that you have to visit. You basically say go to speech therapy. Let's say I'm just giving a quick visit name so that I'm able to easily understand. I'll give a date as, let's say, tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then location would be doctors clinic. So purpose, there's a list of a lot of things that here that you can use, and just using developmental therapy, but you can use whatever is the appropriate one here. I click on save, I get all these records here. The good part is, as you keep entering different records here for your appointments and visits, all these records will show up in your health calendar here. So I'll just quickly jump to health calendar, skipping insurance information here. Health calendar, when I go to health calendar, the visit that we have for tomorrow, which is 18th July, go to speech therapy at 10 a.m. So this will give you a monthly view of all your appointments, or if you want to just focus on just 1 week, that is also fine, but it will give you an idea of what you are going to be busy with for this week or today or this week or the entire month, so that you can plan your month or week or day accordingly. It's one picture of your entire month. You can keep going to next month and so on. The more data that you enter here and plan your visits, the more data you will see in the calendar. Simple. Coming to insurance information, again, if people have insurance information, we can provide multiple insurance details here. Like some users have multiple insurance subscription, so you can add all these insurance details here, so that the doctor or a care provider will be able to use that information in the case of any emergency. Okay, so all these sections that you have seen, from care notebook to health calendar, is common to any user or the care provider. For example, as user one, user one, I have a care provider. Let us say when the care provider logs in, he or she will be able to see and update all this information that I have updated or shown you so far till health calendar. What is private to me as a user of this application is my personal information, as the name suggests. So it has my profile, my account details, and my health information card. This section, the care providers will not be able to see. The reason is, this will have private health information that need not be shared with the care provider. So my demographics like my name, address, my gender, date of birth, and phone numbers, email address, everything, whatever I might have given to the admin to create at the time of creation of my user ID, that information will be shown here. Next one is my account, which will help you to change your password. Even if somebody, even if you have shared your password with somebody, later you can come here and regular changing your password. As you can see, there is a very strict requirements of how long the character length of the password must be, how many numbers must be there, what are the special characters and all that. So if you meet these requirements, you will be able to change your password. And section here is show what it is showing here is I am now linked to a therapist, a special education instructor, as well as a doctor. This is done by the admin. We have not seen that section, but once this is done, let us say my requirement of a special instructor or a care provider is temporary. After the usage is over or after the engagement is over, as a user, I can come in here and click on remove. Automatically the special education or the therapist, whoever I have removed, they will lose connection to my health records immediately. So that way, as a user, I have full control of my health records, who has access to it and when I should disconnect them their access. Okay. Now the final section here talks about user care, use care notebook. This has to be kept as checked for all special needs people or children or patients, because only when this is checked will you be able to see this section of care notebook here. So it is very important that you do not uncheck this. Okay, that is your my account information. Finally, we have the health information record, which talks about again some of my demographics like date of birth, age, gender. It also gives my blood type, my donor details, medications. The Dolo 650 that we entered earlier is here. See, similarly, if there are any allergies, so what happens is you can actually take a printout of it, take a screenshot, and directly keep it in your phone or whatever to have that health information, so that it is handy. So this is all about InnoCare. Let me quickly go out and log in as one of the care providers. Let's say InnoTherapist one. As I said, when I log in as a care provider, the care provider only sees this information that I am as a care provider now having access to InnoUser 1. I can go here and go into the health record of InnoUser 1. Or if I want to also disconnect, I can remove from my care. So if I am a care provider taking care of multiple patients or users, when I know that the engagement is over, I can also come and remove my care. So you have seen a user or a patient disconnecting a care provider. Here what we are seeing is a care provider disconnecting her or himself from the care of a user. When I click on view or edit record for user 1, on the dashboard it shows whose record I'm seeing. So for example, health dashboard of user 1, but I'm logged in as InnoTherapist 1. So if I go back to my care coordinator interface, I need not sign out. I just come here, click on another user. If I have been taking care of them, click on them, click on their record, come to view and edit record, go into their record. So this is how it is. As you can see here, I am able to see care notebook, health record, track health, but I cannot and will not be able to see the personal information of the user. So this is all about InnoCare, how one enters into the system as a care provider. You can do all the things that I've shown in the demo earlier. I hope you found this demo informative and useful. And we have many plans in our product roadmap to enrich InnoCare with many more functionalities that we are receiving as inputs from academicians, doctors, parents taking care of special needs children. So I hope to see you all subscribing to this tool and ensure that you leverage this as a digital health record for the person or persons you are providing care to. Do reach out to us at products@innorite.com if you have any queries or if you're ready to subscribe. We are more than happy to partner with you. And thank you for your time. Have a good day.